Now in this video we're going to look at the Zener diode. And what the Zener diode is, first off, probably the only diode you're going to use reverse bias, where you get it to conduct. So other ones use them reverse bias to stop current from conducting. You purposely want current to conduct through a Zener diode while it's reverse bias. So that's where the cathode is more positive, the anode is more negative. Cathode on the schematic there, positive, anode, negative. So what this does is you put a higher voltage across a resistor and a Zener diode in series. You're going to output the Zener voltage in this case. The way that works is once the voltage across the Zener diode tries to exceed its Zener voltage, so they come in different values. We're going to use 5.6 volts. When you look at it really close, you're going to see 5V6. That's because a lot of times it's hard to see the decimal point, so they take the V for voltage and put it over where the decimal point is. So 5.6 volts. After that point, current starts conducting through the Zener diode. And just basically, if you try to apply more voltage, it's just going to let more current flow through it to hold that voltage down. So now you send that out. You're probably not going to send that to a load though. You're not probably going to try to power a load directly with the voltage across the Zener diode unless it needs very little current. So the resistor has to provide enough current to keep the voltage set across the Zener diode and to power a load. And so you got two current paths there. It's really easy, especially as voltage goes up, to exceed the power rating of a lower value resistor. So generally, you take that voltage, which will hold steady even as supply voltage changes, and you use it as a signal for the most part, not for powering significant loads. So be aware of that. If you're going to try to power a load, you're going to have to design some way to do that. Mostly you send this to an amplifier. This video we're just going to look at it with a multimeter. So here we are, power supply. We're going to do 7 volts right there, and if you go too low in the voltage, there's not going to be any current passing through the Zener diode, and it'll be below its Zener voltage. So in any case, there you can see we got about 5.6 volts. And so if you're unsure of the Zener voltage of a diode, this is one way to check it. Just put it reverse bias, cathode there to the resistor, and we'll see the supply voltage there is 7 volts right there. So this is the main thing though. Right at this point, this node here where the two components connect, electrically connected, we got 5.6 volts. So it's 5.63. What we're going to do, we're going to raise the voltage a lot. We're going to put it up to 12 volts. And so not quite doubling. Let's even go 13. Why not? So there we go. You can see the current went up as we did that. And so we're done with the power supply there. We'll zoom in where we can see our measurements a little easier. So we'll look at the supply voltage there, and once I get a good connection, there you go. You can see we got 13 volts, and there you can see we got 5.6. Before it was 3, now it's 5.66. So it changed a spec, but hardly any. We got practically the exact same voltage across there because the Zener diode is doing its job. So there's some lower values that aren't as good at holding the voltage that rock steady. I think even higher value ones. But in any case, for the most part, you get a pretty steady voltage at that point, even as the supply voltage changes. So now, next circuit, I'll probably want 5 volts. I may fry it if it's set at 13 volts by accident. So I'm going to set it back down to 5 volts. I also make sure I limit current, usually to 20 milliamps. Sometimes I'll go less or more, depending on the circuit. So in any case, always make sure you protect your next circuits and turn the multimeter off. So, hope you enjoyed the video. Make sure you check one of the other videos that I'm posting. Click like, subscribe, the bell, all that. Donate Patreon if you can. That helps out the most. I have links down in the description. But just watching videos helps out a ton. Thanks to everybody that does that. I will see you in the next video.